this one isn't blurry because I had to do the camera setup by myself. What would you do if you entered a house that was purportedly haunted and then the doors shut behind you before you tried to leave and you're stuck in there for the night? That happened to me once, but it was for 16 weeks, and it's only metaphorical. Since it is close to Halloween and I don't know of anything else to talk about today, I'm going to tell you how I got enrolled in a horror genre film class. For those of you who didn't know, I was terrified of scary movies. Scary movies at all, in any way. You know M. Night Shyamalan's movie Signs? That kept me away from cupboard doors for weeks after watching it as a kid. It all started back in November of 2015. I signed up for a genres film class because I needed the elective credit. And at the time, when I looked online, it said musicals. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. But then we only watched High School Musical! No, not really. Christmas break came around and my appendix decided to try and kill me. So turn of the new year, school only being about a week away, I decided to email all of my professors telling them that I might not be in. They said, hey, you know what? It's cool. Just read through the syllabus and get to us whenever you can. I was taking a bunch of classes that were outside my major that were going to be very tough, but the person who was teaching the genre class, I had taken 2 or 3 classes from him at that point, and I knew his shtick. He did all of his classes the same. So over the next week or two, I focused in all of the other classes, not looking at the genre syllabus, until just hours after the ad drop deadline. As I was going through the movie watching list for the semester, I came across names like Frankenstein and Drag Me to Hell, Night of the Living Dead, and what the heck, are all of these musicals? Oh, they switched the genre on me. I don't want to be in a horror class! What do you do? What do you do when you're forced to watch a bunch of scary movies 2 every week for 16 weeks? You Google them and watch some scenes so that the jump scares don't quite get you. But you know what? Being in that class actually helped me out in a few ways. And let me tell you. First, you were required to read some horror books in the class, and as I read through the list, I came across classics such as Frankenstein, Dracula, The Phantom Tollbooth. Yeah, that was on the reading list, so I did it. And those were books that I've always kind of been interested in reading, but never did. They were pretty cool. Second, it gave me an insight as to why certain people like scary movies. Some people in the class really didn't like scary movies. They were kind of in the same boat as me, but they decided, you know what, I'm going to try to face my fears, or I have 1 semester left to get all my elective credits in. But then you had some people who genuinely loved horror. Some of them loved it because of the adrenaline rush that they got from being scared. Other people liked it from the catharsis that they felt at the end of, I made it through something really hard. But other people liked it because horror films tend to deal with psychology and all of these crazy things that go inside the mind. And in some cases, you could actually empathize with the monsters, whether they were actual monsters or they were just people who were really messed up. Side note, I agree with my teacher when he said that there is no other genre that has such a high percentage of terrible films, as there are a lot of bad horror movies. And thirdly, I actually came across some movies I thought were really cool. Whether they were silly 90s BBC versions of horror, some creepy psychological films that had a cool twist at the end, or Mr. Del Toro's Mama, which was absolutely horrifying, but had a really satisfying ending. I found some films that I rather enjoy, and some of them I actually own now. It also primed me for what is now one of my favorite board games, Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Such a fun game, but nobody will play it with me!
This room is warm. Flesh-like walls pulse with the steady heartbeat. Your own heart beats with the rhythm of the house. You are drawn into its walls and taken somewhere else.
Yeah, okay, I can see why nobody plays it with me now. Anyways, going back to that haunted house analogy. Spending a night in a haunted house actually kind of makes you learn more about yourself. Makes you learn about some things that perhaps you didn't think that you would like, learn how you cope with fear, and how you approach difficult situations that you would otherwise crumble under. So I definitely am not recommending that everybody go and watch all these horrifying movies and try to have their own haunted house experience, but you should watch Coraline. It is a great film. Anyways, that's all I got. Enjoy your Halloween. Mwah!